Okay, so everything that I have said and recorded at this point has been pretty I don't even know, it's a crisis, it's bad, I'm not trying to get pity or anything like that. We're trying to raise awareness for a situation that's really out of control, that needs to be in control.
Sorry to be having it. So.
I'm an extremely grateful and thankful person. If everything hadn't happened the way it had, I would not have found this woman sitting next to me now, the love of my life. And there's a lot of things that, I still wish hadn't happened, but I make the most out of the shitty situations I'm thrown into. What I just told you guys about, I did the best I could while I was locked up. I got out early with time cuts, but then I got out to a surprise, as if I haven't been through enough. Let's just continue to try to put me through the ringer, it felt like, so I get out expecting, they have a thing where you go to, you get out early, you go to work release, and you can work, and it's kind of like a transition back into the real world, because it is a completely different world in there. I don't think people realize how bad it is. I've had conversations with my mother about hey, I really want to buy a pillow. Can you send me some money so I can put money on my conversator to buy a pillow? And she's
my mom was outraged too.
You don't have a pillow?
No.
No. The conditions in these places are terrible. If you don't know, the food that they serve you literally says not for human consumption, for zoo animals and inmates only. Let's let that sink in for a second. Not for human consumption. So that right there should show you how they are treating the people in this system. If it's not for human consumption, why in the heck are human beings being forced to eat these things? Why do you not have a pillow? You're spending this time on a mat that most people would not buy for their dog. You are literally in a place the size of 2 pole barns with 400 people stacked into that one little space. These things are not okay. And then at some of the bigger places, the really bad prison I got stuck in last time, people died there a lot. It wasn't a oh, someone had a heart attack and died. No, people got stabbed to death and died. It's a very, very traumatizing situation to be thrown into. Especially I never thought I would be in trouble. I never thought that. And then, I really still can't believe that I've been in trouble for the things I have been, because I truly feel like the things I'm speaking about, at least, I didn't do anything wrong. Like I said, I take responsibility for the things I have done, but the things I haven't, I can't. So let's go on to more of my story, okay? So I get out of prison, and I had this little 3-month work release, and as far as I know, I should be free. I've already done all of my time for everything else, because that's what you have to do. If you get in trouble and you're on probation or something and you get in trouble again, you have to do that time before it starts the next sentence, right? So I finished this last sentence, a failure to return, so everything else should be done. Well, they sit there and tell me, no, you're still on probation. Well, from what? From the resisting charge that I really didn't do. So apparently, well, whatever, I'm doing good, I don't care. That's fine. I'll do the probation, even though I should not be on probation, okay? Legitimately, I should not have been on probation at that time. So, I'm doing good. I'm working through the work release part. I get out of work release. On probation, I'm still doing good, right? Have to go in and take a drug test pretty often, which is fine. So I'm going in, taking these drug tests. Now, every once in a while, I work outside. This is the middle of the summer. It's hot. I would literally walk up to 20 miles a day sometimes carrying a weed eater, Pretty hard to keep your fluids up when it's 104 degrees outside and you're doing that. So, but I'm not causing them any problems. I go in, and the guy who would be there, watch me pee for a drug test. If I didn't pee enough or I couldn't pee, he was genuinely pretty cool about it. He'd just be like, you know what, it's fine, I understand, which you should be understanding in that situation. There's no way anyone shouldn't be. You know, I'm working my ass off and I barely could pee and it wasn't enough to register. Okay, just come back the next day and we'll figure it out. So that's what I did, and I did it fine. Maybe not to the extent of like 12 drug tests, getting toward the end of my probation, you know, and I'm doing good. You know, they tell me to come back because one day I went in there and I peed and it wasn't enough. Guy's like, well, man, I can't really get enough on this, so we're gonna throw it away. Just come back tomorrow. Okay, that's fine. We'll do that. So I go to leave and someone else comes out. You know, they tell me if you leave, you have to sign a refusal. Well, what do you mean? Like I already peed in a cup. You know, well, we're gonna make you do it again. I mean, that's fine, I guess, but I'm telling you, I don't think there's any way I can use the bathroom. Like, I don't understand why I can't just come back tomorrow and do it like I've been doing. You know, well, here's what you get. They give you a cup this big, smaller than a Dixie cup of water, and that's supposed to be enough to make you pee, and you only have an hour to do it. Okay, so I literally am
with somebody watching you, yeah.
I'm literally dehydrated. There's no way that's going to do it, and I tell them that. Regardless, I can't pee again, so they make me sign a refusal. Now, you have to understand, like, where is the, like,
consistency?
There's no consistency in that at all, for one.
No. You got one person saying one thing, and
like, for this situation, I've looked into this so much, I consider myself fairly, like, on top of these things, to where, like, the person who took the example, or the sample, and threw it away, that started the paperwork, was not the person who finished doing that paperwork. Now, if they're going to continue to throw laws at me and break laws, like, I would just try to throw laws back at them. Like, that in itself is a procedural error, and they would have to throw that out anyway. So I shouldn't have been in trouble for this anyway. Okay, now, well, so anyone who doesn't know, what happens when you sign a refusal? Well, it's the exact same thing
a failure.
As a fail. Like, okay, even though I'm doing good, doing nothing wrong, it's considered a fail, you know. And I'm telling, like, well, what am I supposed to do? You know, well, you need to call your probation officer and talk to them about it. So I call my probation officer, and he's like, well, I just don't know what we're going to do with you. You know, the work release people said you've been giving them problems. And I'm like, excuse me? Like, what are you talking about, giving them problems? And they're like, yeah, they said that you haven't been using the bathroom on time, and then they tell you to come back the next morning and you don't come back till after work. And I'm like, excuse me, that's not at all what happened. So again, thank God that all of these things are recorded, right? All of this stuff is on camera. So whenever I really get the backing behind what I'm talking about, I'm going to make sure that all this evidence comes out too. Because literally, it was never a big deal. These people didn't act like I was doing anything wrong. They never told me, like, oh, you're going to have to. No, they just said, you know, hey, it's not a problem, man. Just come back tomorrow, same time, you know. Just come back tomorrow after work. Make sure you drink enough. And I would completely pass the drug test, you know. But they painted this picture to my probation officer like I'm some rule-breaking troublemaker, and I really wasn't doing anything wrong. I really was just going to work and doing everything they asked me to do. So I tell him, like, well, what am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? Like, you know, what's going to happen? And he's like, well, we're going to put a warrant out for your arrest. Are you serious? You know what I mean? Like, I'm literally down all of this stuff that I literally don't even feel. I truly do not believe, like, I should have been in trouble for most of these things. Mm-hmm. And what? Like, what? It makes you want to yell. Like, I'm literally right here at the end. And it's not because I'm, like, failing drug tests and doing drugs. It's because you all would literally want to keep, like, what? You guys want to make this an issue whenever I'm doing good? How is anyone supposed to succeed in these kind of situations when they're literally doing things illegal to keep the people in it? Like, It doesn't make any freaking sense to me. Anyway, they put a warrant out for my arrest. Long story short, yep, I end up in prison again. Okay? I end up in prison again. And this time's a very, very short one, though. You know what I mean? A really, really short one. Like, I've already done some time in county, so I should only have a couple of months. I go to prison, I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be smooth. And I'm going to get a time cut. You know what I mean? I'm going to be out quick. So, and I get a paid attorney. You know what I mean? This time I get a paid attorney because they say they're going to be able to help me. To make this story even a little bit quicker, though, you know, they told me that I was going to get out twice as well, and then I never got out. Like, they literally told me twice, you're getting out, make sure your family's there. But again, what the judge told this man that I paid $5,000 for a simple freaking violation, you know what I mean, for something simple, yet again, what he said was going to happen, what the judge promised him, is not what happened. So I don't know how it works in your guys' counties, but be very freaking careful is all I have to say.
Yeah.
Like, if you open plea, you better make sure that you know what you're doing. Like, I swore I would never open plea again, but my attorney convinced me that I was the best thing to do, that he was going to get me out. So, you know, I did it again. And yet again, I get sentenced. Okay, so I get like an additional, I don't know, it was like a 15-month, do half the time sentence. Well, that's cool, because I've already done most of my time in county, right? Mm-hmm. Well, for whatever reason, maybe this is just an error, but from my experience, my opinion, Gibson County, for whatever reason, really doesn't like me, or they really just, I don't know, have something out against me. I hope this doesn't happen to other people, but the 91 days that should have went, so 3 months out of the sentence that should have went toward the like 7 months I'm supposed to do, they just didn't count. They just accidentally forgot to count it, right? So I keep telling my paid attorney, like, hi Miles. I keep telling my paid attorney, like, you know, I need you to get on top of this, man. Like, I'm about to get my other time cut. I should be out. And this is where I think things get kind of sinister, okay? Because he tells me, okay, yeah, we've already talked to the judge. They're just looking over it. We know that those 91 days are due. It's going to come through anytime, okay? Well, that doesn't happen. So then I've been in prison for an entire month at this point that I should not have been in there. Like, against my will, against the law. Like, I was legally I should be free. Legally I should have been out like I am now. Thank God that I'm out now. Thank God keep me out now. Thank God everything's going better, you know, but this needs to be told, you know. So after that happens, I really we start hounding my attorney, like, what's going on? I am supposed to be out, you know, and he tells me, well, they're going through it, they're looking at it, this or that. And then the last thing he finally told me was, well, they've set a court date out to approve that 91 days. Okay, well, when's that court date? Oh, 2 days after I get out of prison. So that's literally like a slap in the face, a spit in the face, whatever you want to call it. Because these people, these so-called good, honorable judges, these people who are supposed to be looking out for us, seems to me intentionally set a court date for 2 days after I got out, thinking like maybe I was just gonna let it go or something like that. Well, I can't let that go. That is 3 months of my life in which I also got assaulted that I now can never get back. So anyway, that's my story for now.